magic win, Peach! The magic win! Victory!
Picked up.
Magic win in overtime. 116 to 111 over the Los Angeles Clippers. It looked ugly at first. We were down by as much as 18 points in that first quarter. We ended, in fact, down by 18, scoring just a measly 14 points. But you got to give this young team credit, especially the bench, and I'm going to talk about them later. They brought this team back. Paolo comes through in the end, 10 of his 23 in overtime, hitting 4 clutch free throws at the end to seal the deal after the Clippers gave us a little bit of help. Man, we were live streaming this game, and it looked ugly. We just had a few people on there after the first quarter. People were packing it in, saying, "I'll see you gentlemen later. Thanks for streaming. Peace." And the impossible happened, Pish.
Well, I don't know if it was impossible.
Improbable.
But it was improbable. But as much as the Magic clawed their way back into this one, the Clippers also let us back in.
They gave it away.
They shot very poorly, and after that great start in the first quarter, they only scored 17 points in the next quarter.
Yeah.
So that kind of let us back in the conversation. They hit a 3 at the end of the half. It should have been a 6-point deficit. It was 9-point deficit still at halftime. And then in a rare moment, Orlando actually had a decent third quarter.
Yeah.
And it really kind of turned the tides. And they got it from areas where you didn't think you'd see it from. So It was really good to see that play go down the way it did with so many guys off the bench being a plus-minus. Cole was like plus 21 and Bamba at plus 17. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
That's excellent, but that's what we've been lacking is being able to be effective with our bench squad at all. So when close games are within like 7 or 8 points and the bench comes in and we lose another 7 or 8, that's how you get that out of games. But today that squad pulled us together.
Yes.
Like cracking an egg into something you're making.
Made a delicious omelet.
Nope.
Like
cracking an egg into something you're making. And
you're baking. Brownies.
Done with this.
Keep going. I got more.
But the point is that, Paulo, you look at the stats again. This is another one of those games. You see 23 points from him. He hits the 6 big free throws down the stretch, which is awesome. But of those 23 points, 13 of them coming at the free throw stripe. He scores 10 in overtime. Where was he the other portions of the game? He looked just a little out of sync.
Yeah.
And he didn't take a ton. I think he only had, 4 shots or something like that we figured out at halftime. It's like, I need more from you. They need to run plays for you. This is going to be one of those teams that we are a little bit, put it in his hands, everything runs off him. At some point, they start doubling him. Other guys are open. We need to become that kind of a team because that's what's going to work. And we didn't really do it ever in this game, almost until overtime.
Right.
When it was almost too late.
Yeah.
And it was a little odd. I know you wanted us to keep our backups in because they were hot.
Yeah.
But once they went back to their full squad, I don't know who's Cole Anthony is guarding out there on their starting squad.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main difference because Cole was doing good things on offense, and I feel like he even played pretty well on defense tonight.
Yeah.
He did everything you could ask of him on this evening to help us out.
Definitely.
But I get that's why they went with Markelle. At the end of the game, some questionable times when they just decided, hey, guy with 0 points, want to take a couple shots?
Yeah.
Got fouled on one, hit one of the free throws. But odd to then go to him again and
for
just
the
be
final
like, this
shot.
is they called a timeout to run a play, and that's what you ran.
The play turned out to be dribble, and take a 20-foot jumper.
Again, a very makeable shot for him.
Yes.
And on an average night, take it. Mm-hmm. But on this night, when you're not hitting and not really doing much on offense, I want the ball in almost anyone out there's hands at that point.
I would agree. I wanted it in Franz's hands.
Get it in his hands, get him going to the bucket, look for the foul. He's so good off the glass. I mean, that's your strengths. So that's where I would have gone.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting the win anyway, and it's about time that we get in the win column. I loved to hear the fire from Coach Mosley talking to his players in between at a timeout. that we're going to go get this one. I love the fire from Paulo saying, I just felt like I had to get out there and we needed to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of mentality these guys need to keep having. And we were getting into this losing funk. There was a lot of heads hanging and a lot of this again from the guys who were there before. I don't want to see that stink get on Paulo. I don't want to see it continue to be on guys like Franz. I need this kind of effort on a more frequent basis. Even if we had lost this game, I liked what I saw in quarters 2, 3, and 4 enough
Absolutely.
to be like, okay, good effort here. But to be able to actually get the win and stay with this team down the stretch, which put in all their starters, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Kawhi in the end as well.
And really, they had a nice effort from Zubac played well. Terrence Mann played great. Nicholas Batum was a problem.
He was an all-star.
I mean, we're not even really talking about Paul George and Kawhi here.
Yeah.
So this is a good win. I don't think that all the pain of all the other previous losses is gone for me.
Yeah.
Because that's a scar.
Oh.
But this is a step in the correct direction. This makes me want to continue to watch this team, continue to report on them and do this show. You know what I mean? And they needed this. For them,
Yes.
they needed it for the fans. They needed it for the coaching staff. Everyone involved with the Orlando Magic needed a dub. And we need some more in the future to keep this goodwill going.
Yeah, I gotta shout out the bench mob, man. We didn't have it. I mean, they've been kind of absent last game. I was calling for them to stay in because we look at the starters, and even with the nice push at the end of the game, the only starter with a positive plus minus is Franz Wagner.
Right.
And I wanted to ride that hot hand towards the end. Franz was really dealing and dishing both hands off the glass, making sweet love to that thing.
Yeah, nobody uses the glass in the modern game quite like Franz Wagner. It's impressive.
It's fantastic. And we had another huge game from the Bol Patrol. Pull over, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. I mean,
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
What I'm going to need you to do for me right now is I'm going to need you to clear the lane. We have the caution tape up for a reason. Bol Bol is coming through.
and he did come through with authority a couple times this game, and as fantastic an effort it was from the bench mob, from Paulo at the end, Franz at the end. I bet what you're going to see on ESPN tomorrow is some of those Bol Bol slams.
I mean, his wingspan makes him look so fun, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, I've joked to you that sometimes his shot looks like a trebuchet, and so sometimes when he just whips that big arm out there, you're just like, look at this. This is so amazing. Like, it's sort of like when you watch a bird and he just is like flying and you're like, look at the wingspan. This bird is massive and it's beautiful. And I think Bol's getting a lot of that right now too. And it's important to realize that he's going to have some highlight plays every game, whether he does positive things at the stat line or not. But tonight was a combination of both, including one late in the game where he went to the hole, he missed his shot, but he got his rebound and he put it right back in. It's important for these guys to be rebounding and thinking about getting the ball back. And man, they were doing that stuff in the second half.
Absolutely.
And it made all the goddamn difference.
Bol just one rebound shy of a 20-point double-double. He got 20 and 9. That would have been sweet to have in his still very young career. I think, big player here for me tonight, Mo Bamba.
Yep.
We saw some really good things out of him tonight. I love the activity that I saw from him on defense, especially making sure, and then rotating back. That's my biggest gripe a lot of times. We switch on everything, but we're slow to get back to our man. We still got burned a couple times with wide open passes because the Clippers are a veteran team and they move the ball.
For sure.
But I think the bench mob really reminded the starters what we needed to do when we saw that change from the team who was kind of just hanging out around the three-point line, around the perimeter, to second half, we started getting downhill. We started running more some of those horns offensive sets, getting Franz towards the rim, and I think that helped. It was sad for me to see the effort from Fultz, but I like the confidence that he had to still take both shots at the end of the game. That shows me that this guy is tenacious.
Bold.
He's not going to give up. Right. What's that?
Bold.
It was bold. It was bold. It's a leader move. And, that's as crappy a game as he had, minus 17. I still believe in the guy, and I'm happy that he has the confidence to take that shot at the end. Luckily, it didn't come back to bite us because it wasn't a great offensive possession, as you've already spoken on. We came out of it.
Yep.
fantastic.
Sure did.
Yeah.
This is the kind of effort that this team needs to put in on a regular basis. And I think you could really see that ratcheted up. And to me, I'm trying to not remember what I already saw because it makes you sad to know that this is what they're capable of.
Right.
So that's why I got so disgusted and mad because I know this group is capable of giving more. And if we give more and we get beat because another team's more talented or just better than us that day, that's totally fine with me. But it was the effort lacking in some of these last games. And the last two have put us right back on a path of, okay, this effort more, please. Everyone's going to have a bad game here and there. But the whole team can't fucking just zone out.
Yeah, not for 8 games like we did. And, you know, we had a lot of talk on the live stream tonight, and there's been a lot of chatter in the Magic community about the job that Jamal Mosley has been doing. And I think that when we point to a game in which we did appear to have an increased intensity as we moved towards the end of the game, as we saw the early turnovers, and we had, I think, 7 of them in the first quarter, and we only ended, I think, with 10. When you see those types of things getting cleaned up, I think that's a check on the side of Coach Mosley, that things did change as we played poorly coming out of halftime. If you recall, the beginning of the third quarter, I think they went on like a 7-1 run, and Coach immediately took those guys out, put the bench unit in, and that I think was a real turning point in the game. So I am going to give props where props are due here tonight.
I'll prop another one towards Mosley in that when he put the bench squad back in and they had a good run, he didn't just run them the whole fourth quarter just to do it. Because they would have been exhausted and it wouldn't have been the same ending. And even if we had gotten to overtime, then those guys would have been just wiped and our starters would have been cold. He came back in with some of those guys, let those guys mix back in, and it worked out well the way it was instead of just riding the hot hand like he had done in the past. So hopefully that's improving as well. But I have to also wonder, playing devil's advocate, if the little thing inside Coach Mosley's ear went off a little after halftime and the front office was like, Coach Mose, you guys can go ahead and try to win this one. We can? Yes. Go ahead. All right. Guys, let's go. Get in here. We got some plays to run. All right. You guys go in here and you do this. Now you go over here. Now, when you get this rebound, I'm going to need a timeout. We got to get over here. I'm going to coach this shit out of this game. We're winning tonight.
Well, whatever the damn reason, I needed that win. I think probably some of you out there, all of you probably needed that win. The guys needed that win. We're off the schneid. We have a better record than last year by 1 game. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen. Is this enough? Are you feeling? We've had 2 close games in a row. I feel the tides are turning. Is it enough? Are you feeling good moving forward? Let us know in the comments. That's all I got, Pich.
All right. That's good. We just did a whole live stream. I'm good. We're talked out.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for coming. Go Magic.